How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's video. So something I wanted to discuss was for people who are beginners or just getting into working out and maybe they don't know what to do, maybe they don't know how much to work out or a good spot to start at. I wanted to actually cover what's a good amount of volume or a good amount of working sets for somebody who's just getting into working out to do. Now, there are a few different things or a few different factors to consider. For one factor to consider is prior experience. So, someone who's had prior sports experience will oftentimes have a little bit of an easier time adjusting to a program, especially if there's a little bit of a sharp increase in volume over time. Another thing to consider as well is awareness. So physical awareness, meaning how well can that person make adjustments to their technique in order for it to be as optimal as it can be for that particular person, given their um, structures, if you will. Everybody has different structures, meaning their femur length or torso length or arm length or so on and so forth. And so all that has to be considered as well. And the reason why I bring that up and the reason why I believe that point is so important is because oftentimes when people are first getting into working out, they're not super aware of what their body is doing. And they don't have what's called kinesthetic awareness, which is effectively just awareness of what your body is doing in space. And it's really important to get that technique and that sensibility up and running as quickly as you can or as efficiently as you can. But that takes a lot of time and that takes a lot of effort and energy and focus in order to get there. Don't rush it. Don't be discouraged if it takes you a little bit longer. Some people get it quick. Some people, it takes quite a bit of time. Don't be discouraged. Another aspect to think about as well is frequency. What is a frequency that a person is starting off with? Again, these are just my suggestions or things that I look at or perspectives that I feel to be relatively reasonable. Now, if we're talking about frequency, I think 2 to 3 times a week is a great frequency to start off with. Of course, over time, you can always increase your frequency, or you can increase the duration of your workout, or you can just spread them out a little bit more. Now, the reason why I say 3 times a week or 2 to 3 times a week is a good spot to start at is because your recoverability from the workouts is oftentimes going to be very, very good. If you're working out more times than you are taking rest days, you have to take into account that it's going to mitigate some of the recoverability from your workouts. Therefore, you're going to have to taper how many working sets you're doing in a particular workout or over the course of any given week. Now, to set some context, let's say somebody is coming into resistance training and it's their first time, they have no prior experience with it, but they just want to kind of get the flow of things. That's okay. Start them off with 2 to 3 days a week of full body exercises. Now, how many working sets in a given exercise? I want to be very clear here and very candid. A working set is a set that is actually challenging. Now, what that means is, let's say this person has 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps programmed and they get to 15, but they still got another 10 reps in the tank. That's not a working set. That would effectively be a warm-up set. You want to be really rigid about understanding the difference between a working set and a warm-up set. Your warm-up sets do not count towards your total sets in a workout. Your working sets are the sets that absolutely count. Again, if you are just brand new to working out, keeping your working sets on the lower end, I would suggest 12 to 16 sets in a particular session is a great spot to start. You are going to be sore, it's going to be uncomfortable, but your body will adjust over time. Now, if this person is, let's say they're a month in, they're doing 12 to 16 sets, they're doing full body 3 days a week, and their workouts are about roughly 45 minutes to an hour. That is a fantastic start. Now, what happens after that first month? Then you want to increase your sets. So typically after a month, 16 sets is going to be more so what I would suggest to be the low end. I would suggest to typically up the working sets from that 12 to 16 now to 16 to 20 and see how well you do with that. If you can recover well, albeit that sleep is accounted for, nutrition is accounted for, stress management is accounted for, all those things are accounted for. Typically, you can actually make a jump from 12 to 16 and then from 16 to 20. Now, how long should a person stick with that 16 to 20 working set range? It depends. And it depends on your goals. If your goal is to build muscle, you're going to have to change some things over time. And those changes might come a little bit quicker than you may be used to. If someone wants to build muscle, instead of increasing the working sets, I would have them add in an extra day. So instead of doing 3 full body days in a week, have them do 4 full body days. Again, the recoverability from that is going to be fantastic. If you're spreading out between upper and lower in every workout, but one workout you're doing mostly upper body and a little bit of lower body, and then you switch and you're doing mostly lower body and then a little bit of upper body on the next workout, that gives your body the ability to recover much, much, much better. Of course, if you're picking and choosing what movements are going to be the most beneficial and are going to get you the best bang for your buck. So being selective makes all the difference as you're going into a program, either if you are looking at programs or if you are thinking of making a program for yourself, or you see something online that looks pretty interesting to you. Understand that you are going to need to adjust or be good at making adjustments as you are on the fly or as things go on. And the more experience you get, those adjustments are going to become significantly easier for you to make. So don't be afraid to make those adjustments every other week or even every week if need be, in order to make sure that you are able to get closer to your goal. And always keep your goal in mind. It's always good to have a goal. I understand that there are people who are just, I want to go to the gym, and that's basically the goal. Great spot to start. However, my suggestion would be, if you are going to go to the gym or if you are going to start working out, have a goal in mind and have a short-term goal in mind. That will help you stick to it a lot better. To wrap this video up, I know this is a little bit of a longer video than I was anticipating. However, for somebody just beginning, for the first month of them getting into resistance training, and they're training 2 to 3 days a week, and they're doing full body resistance training, 12 to 16 sets per session is a good spot to start. After the first month, then that person can bump it up to 16 to 20, as long as they're keeping an eye on their recovery. If they're recovering, they can oftentimes handle a little bit more. If you are working out 3 days a week and you're doing 20 sets per workout, you can then add in an extra day, which would help increase the amount of working sets per week that you were doing without having to increase a significant demand on the body by adding in, let's say, 5 extra sets, whatever it may be, per workout. So add in that extra day, and that'll give you that little bit of a bump up or increase in the amount of working sets you're doing. If you're doing 3 days a week and then you start doing 4 days a week, you just went from 60 sets per week to now 80 sets per week if you're doing 20 sets per workout. Be strategic about how you approach it. How you approach your workout is a huge deal, but also if you are not willing to make adjustments and also be okay with the fact that the first part of the process is going to be uncomfortable, unfortunately, not too many people are going to be super great at sticking to it. If you want to enjoy that process a little bit more, take your time. Don't rush things. Instead, use it as a learning experience and learn as time goes on and make adjustments. However, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or anything you'd like me to cover, don't be afraid to leave a comment, but I will catch y'all later. Have a good one and have a great week.